Abasif holding a train of crayfish. How dare you raise your hand on an elder? He's old enough to be your father. Emedion furious said, and who asked you to enter my business? Once upon a time, in the beautiful city of Uyo, there was a beautiful girl named Abasif. She sold crayfish in the market. She always smelled like crayfish, but in a good way. She bought them from Oro market and sold them in Uyo to make a living. Abasif was an orphan since she was 8 years old. She lived with her father's auntie, who was poor but kind. After secondary school, Abasif didn't wait for luck. She grabbed a basket and started selling crayfish like a boss. She was very hardworking. People admired her. Even some boys tried to woo her. One of her neighbors said, Abasif, fine girl, Ima, let's date so we can build our future together. But Abasif looked at him and laughed inside. This was the same guy who was always fighting over 15 naira market ticket, flogging his poor mother, and causing drama in the community. He was summoned by the village head countless times. You want to build a future with me? She thought. You can't even build peace in your compound. She just hissed and went back to her crayfish. One early morning, in their small kitchen, Abasif is packing her crayfish into bowls. Her aunt is boiling water for tea. Her aunt said, Abasif, you are up early again. You want to marry crayfish? Auntie, crayfish is better than heartbreak. It smells, but at least it pays. Her aunt laughed. This your mouth, eh? You should be talking to boys, not only crayfish. Abasif said, Auntie, which boys? Is it that one that wears one trouser for 3 weeks? Or is it the other one that fought Mama Udwak over 15 naira? Her aunt said, but the guy said he wants to build a future with you. Auntie, let him first build common sense. Future will wait. Her aunt started laughing. My daughter, you are too wise for your age. But don't worry, your husband will soon come. Maybe even a very rich man. Amen oh, with fine shoes and fresh skin. I hope he will step here because crayfish smell will chase him back oh. Her aunt laughed and said, if he's a real man, he won't mind the crayfish. He will still love the girl behind the smell. Abasif smiling. Okay, auntie, I've heard you. But until then, let me go and sell my crayfish before sun starts roasting my neck. Okay, my daughter, God will bless your hustle, my child. And if you see one fine guy on the road, smile small, eh? Don't frown like policewoman. Abasif lifted up her train and said, only if he's not fighting market women, no. They laughed wholeheartedly. Inside the royal palace in Uyo, Prince Idorenyi just returned from Canada. He seated with his parents, the king and queen, in the royal lounge. Welcome home, my son. How was Canada? The queen said. Mom, it was fine. Very cold though. And the food there had no spice. I missed Nigerian food. The king chuckled and said, did you find a wife there? No, Dad. Every guy I met was after my money. Once I gave them anything, they disappeared. I'm tired of fake love, Daddy. The queen smiled. That's why I've organized a small party. My best friend daughter, Imabong, will be there. I think she will make a beautiful wife. The king raised an eyebrow. You think? Which Imabong? The same girl who was caught sleeping in the guard's room during her last visit. The queen quickly interrupted. That was a misunderstanding, my king. The guard was her classmate. They were just having a conversation. The prince looking surprised. Mom, inside the guard's room, having a conversation. Hmm. The queen sounding defensive. It was probably just a coincidence. She's a good girl, my prince. The king sighed. Son, your mother is trying to clearly protect her. But let me remind you, my queen, this is the same girl I asked to cook afang soup. Oh. Ordinary afang that even a 10-year-old girl in Akwa Ibom will cook perfectly. And she completely ruined it. The prince looking curious. Daddy, what did she do? Tell me. The king said dramatically, my son, she added sugar to taste. The prince shocked. Eh? Sugar, dad? In afang soup? The king and prince burst out laughing. Daddy, tell me more. The queen quickly defended her. She thought it was salt. It was an honest mistake, my king. Honest mistake, you say? She walked to the beverage cabinet, picked up sugar, and confidently added it to the soup. Now you are saying she is wife material. That's not a mistake. That is a kitchen crime. And you want my son to marry her? The prince said, Mom, please. Keep your, what's her name again? The king said, 0 yards of wife material. The queen looked at the husband angrily. Oh, sorry, my son. I mean Imabong. That girl will give you premium heartbreak, my son. The king and prince laugh again. Daddy, you're so funny. My son, you know, as if I'm funny. Just I'm telling you what is happening. Oh, I want the best for you. Oh. The queen rolling her eyes like father, like son. You two are impossible. The prince, smiling, said, Mom, I want a real woman. My son, don't worry. Your queen is coming. Just relax. Everything will be fine. A sunny afternoon at the palace, Prince Idorenyi walked into the royal lounge in a sporty mood. The king and queen were seated, enjoying a cool drink. Prince Idorenyi said, Dad, Mom, I feel like going out to exercise. Maybe do some jogging or play a little football. Queen Uyai, raising an eyebrow, exercise. What about the gym right here in the palace? It's filled with imported equipment. Use that. The prince grinning. Mom, I want fresh air. A change of environment. Something different. The queen shaking her head in disagreement. That's ridiculous. Fresh hair. We have a garden. Run around the roses if you want hair. King Ekpenyong smiling. Actually, that sounds fun. I like the idea of going out for a change. Oh, of course, you will never support me, King Ekpenyong. That's my name, my queen. Ekpenyong the Great. In fact, son, I will join you. The queen throwing her hands in the air. I'm still baking the cake and you are already icing it. What do you mean by joining him? The king laughing. Queen Uyai, my beauty, since when did you become a baker? Should I start calling you chef of the kingdom? The queen rose her eyes as the king burst into laughter. The prince looking at his dad's royal attire. Dad, wait. You can't come like this. You are in full regalia. We are not going for a village meeting. The king looking down at his outfit. Oh, true. Let me go and change. I will wear my whole tracksuit, the one with the lion on it. The prince said, please, not the lion one, Dad. People might think you are hunting instead of jogging. Everyone laughs as the king proudly heads off to change. 2 minutes into their jog outside the palace, Prince Idorenyi and the king, now dressed in an old tracksuit, are running down a quiet street. The sun is bright, birds are chirping, and is unusually peaceful until suddenly they see two young women also jogging on the same road. The king, slightly out of breath and not watching his step, accidentally steps on one of the girl's feet. She trips and falls. Girl 1 angrily getting up. Ha! Are you blind? You almost broke my ankle. You are lucky I did not slap you. What's wrong with you? The king raising his hand in panic. I'm so sorry, madam. I'm just a driver. My boss here asked me to jog with him. I've never done this before. I did not see you coming. The prince stepping in looking confused. Please don't talk to him like that. He is my... The king quickly cutting in. I'm his driver. Boss, should I call the company in China to send the goods to Lagos instead of Uyo? The girls looked at each other, suddenly interested. Wait, your boss imports goods from China? The king nodding. Yes, ma. He's a very important businessman. The prince, still confused but playing along. What's your name? She said, Emediong. And you? The king cutting in fast. Ogbona, Ogbona. His name is Ogbona from Enugu, but based in Uyo for business purposes. Emediong gives the king a sharp side eye, not getting why the king kept interrupting. The prince smiling awkwardly. Can I have your number? She quickly gives him a number, and both girls jog away. The prince turned to the king. Dad, seriously, Ogbona, China goods, Enugu. I don't understand. My boy, if we want to find the right wife, we must enter into character. This is an undercover. They don't need to know who you are. That is why you met so many fake girls who loved you because of your money. The prince laughing. Daddy, can you keep up with all of this thing? Because at this rate, you will win an Oscar. The king replied, as long as you win a wife, no problem. Let's just play along. Me and you, I'll be your driver, and then you will be my boss. Let's see how they will treat me being your driver, if I'll be respected or catered for. 2 months later, Prince Idorenyi, still pretending to be Ogbona, the businessman from Enugu. He was secretly dating Emedion, and their relationship is getting stronger. He even rented a big apartment in town to keep the acts going. But there's one big problem. Every time they go out together, Emedion always talks down on his driver, who is actually the king, his father. Mr. Driver, must you always hum like that? You sound like an old generator. Can you keep it down, please? The king smiling politely. Sorry, ma, I did not know I was disturbing. Prince Indorinye comes out and see the whole thing. He said to his dad, Dad, this is getting too much. She disrespects you all the time. I don't like it. I don't even want to do anything with her. She's not my type. I don't know why you're doing all of this. The king said calmly, Relax, my son. A mango tree doesn't know the taste of its fruits until someone else takes a bite. What does that mean, Dad? It means she will soon get a taste of her own behavior, and when that day comes, we will both be watching with popcorn. Dad, but she called you a noise-making generator today. The king chuckled. She called me worse last week, remember? Walking mosquito nets. I actually laughed. The prince grumbly said, Dad, you're too patient. Son, sometimes you must let people show their true colors before you bring out yours. One afternoon, in Uyo main market, Ekwenyong, still disguised as a driver, parked the car near the market. Emebiong stepped out holding a shiny iPhone 16 Pro Max like it was a trophy. Old man, here's the list. Buy everything, no mistake. She handed him a long list and leaned on the car, scrolling through her phone. King Ekpenyong slowly began walking into the market, trying to read the small handwriting. Emedion yelled at him. Can you walk faster? Are you carrying your legs or dragging them? She stormed forward towards him and raised her hand to slap him. A sudden slap landed on her back. It wasn't hot. It felt cold, like someone slapped her with ice water. She turned around, shocked. Abasif holding a train of crayfish. How dare you raise your hand on an elder? He's old enough to be your father. Emedion furious said, and who asked you to enter my business? By now, the market women and men had gathered. Everyone knew Abasif, humble, hardworking, and loved. The market women challenged Emedion. If you touch him again, we go show you pepper for here. You dey smoke? You smoke igbo? Your head dey grand? Come on, shut up your mouth, you smelly girl. Emedion East stormed back to the car and drove off angrily, leaving the king behind. Abasif gently walked up to the driver. Come, let me take you to eat something. You look tired. The king, humbled, said, You are very kind. Thank you. Abasif, as they sat in a small restaurant, the king was just talking and singing her praises. Please don't talk while eating. Enjoy your food first. The king smiled and ate quietly. He later explained that he was just a poor driver and his boss girlfriend always tormented him. Abasif advised him, Then you find another job. Peace is more important than money. The king said, You are right, my daughter, but my boss is kind and the pay is good. I will endure. They talked about so many things. They laughed together. Abasif found him comforting, like a father figure. She paid for his meal and even his transport home. Back at the apartment, Emedion saw the CCTV footage showing Abasif helping the driver into the house. Emedion furious. So now, he's picking crayfish girls. I will finish her. The same girl that insulted me at the market. Oh, that girl was even his girlfriend. Can you imagine? She went to the kitchen, grabbed a knife, and waited by the gates. The moment Abasif opened the gate, Emedion jumped, but the king stepped in. The knife stabbed him in the side. Abasif screamed, Somebody help! Somebody help! Somebody help! The neighbors rushed out, held Emedion and called the police. The king was rushed to the hospital. King Ekpenyon had been unconscious for several days. The room was quiet except for the soft beep of the monitor. Abasif sat by his bedside, dozing off slightly. Suddenly, the king moved his fingers, then he blinked. Abasif jumped up. Ah, sir, you are awake. The king looked around slowly. His vision was blurry, but he smiled faintly. Ah, I thought I was already in heaven. Abasif rushed to the king. Ah, I'm happy you are alive, sir. Prince Idorenyi entered the room slightly breathless, trying to keep his words. The prince awkwardly said, A great man, a true hero. How are you feeling now, sir? King Ekpenyon laughing. I feel stronger now, especially with all these visitors around me. The king turned to Abasif. Abasif, meet the boss I was telling you about, the kind one. Is the reason I'm able to feed my family. Very good man. The prince said, Nice to meet you, Abasif. I've heard good things about you. Good evening, sir. I'm glad to meet you too. I was just about to go and rest a bit. I'll come back later to check on Sir Ekpe, I mean your driver. The king smiled. I'll be expecting you. Thank you, my dear. I'm really grateful. The king was sitting up now, more stronger. Prince Idorenyi was seated beside him, looking deep in thought. My son, you have seen the heart of a real woman. You have seen how she stood by me, thinking I was only a poor driver. She doesn't care about money, title, or status. Prince Idorenyi nodding slowly. Yes, father, she is different. She is special. The king said firmly. Then marry her. The prince looked at his father in surprise. Daddy, I just met her. What are you waiting for? Marry her and make me proud. Days later, Prince Idorenyi started visiting Abasif house pretending he's still just a businessman. He meets her auntie, a kind, poor woman who welcomes him warmly. He sees how Abasif sweeps the compound, helps neighbors, and runs her crayfish business with joy. He tests her, giving her a wallet filled with money by mistake, but she returns it without touching a naira. He brings up fake investment ideas and she gives him wise, honest advice. Slowly, he starts falling deeply for her. A month later, in a small garden in Uyo, the prince kneels down, holding out a ring. Abasifreke, you came into my life like light. I don't care what anyone says. Please, will you marry me? Abasifreke, shocked and speechless. Me? Are you serious? Yes, I'm serious. More serious than I've ever been. Tears in her eyes, she says softly, yes, I will marry you. On the wedding day, guests gathered. The palace was beautifully decorated, but one part of the audience looked confused. Police officers stood behind a handcuffed Emedion, dressed up. She was invited by the prince because the prince had already made up his mind to unveil everything. She looked shocked, angry, and embarrassed. Her eyes looking around, people whispered as they recognized her. Suddenly, the prince took the mic. Before I marry the woman of my dreams, I have a confession to make. He turned towards Abasifeke, then the guest. I'm not just Ogbona, the businessman. I am Prince Idorinye Ekpenyong, son of King Ekpenyong and Queen Uyai. Gasps echoed through the crowd. Abasifreke was stunned. The prince pointing to the king. That man who played my driver, that's my father, the king. The king waved and laughed. The queen nodded proudly. And that woman over there, Emedion, she hurt my family. She disrespected the same man she thought was poor. And look at her now. Everyone turned to look at Emedion. She burst into tears and tried to defend herself. Please, I did not know. I was angry. I thought it was just shut up, a woman said behind her. The prince cutting in. Exactly, you thought. Now arrogance has finished you. People murmured, shaking their heads. King Ekpenyong smiling. Let this be a lesson. Royalty doesn't shine in gold. It shines in their hearts. As the crowd clapped and celebrated, suddenly through the joyful crowd, our auntie pushed through with teary eyes and shaky steps. Abasifreke, my mommy. Abasifreke turned around and immediately rushed into her arms. They hugged tightly. Auntie, my daughter, my pride, you've made me so proud. I have nothing in this world, but God gave me you. You did not disappoint me. Abasifreke also crying, Mama, thank you for everything, for raising me, for believing in me. May God bless your marriage. May your home be filled with joy. May you never lack. You will be greater than us. You will be a queen with peace in her heart. The crowd watched, touched by the moment. A soft, beautiful love song began to play in the background. The prince turned to Abasifreke and gently held out his hand. May I have this dance, my queen? Abasifreke smiled shyly, still holding back tears of joy. She placed her hand in his, and he pulled her close into a warm embrace. They began to dance slowly, moving gently with the music. All eyes were on them. The prince whispering to her, I never believed I would find someone like you, someone real, someone true. Abasifreke said, I never thought my life would change like this. I just wanted to sell crayfish and survive. The prince smiling, now you will sell love and I will buy all of it forever. She laughed and rested her head on his shoulder. You are so funny, my prince. The crowd clapped and cheered as they continued to dance. The king raised a glass proudly, the queen also. Even the guards were smiling like children at Christmas. And they lived happily ever after. Hello, story lovers. Thank you so much for watching my G's. Tell us where you're watching from and leave your thoughts in the comment section. We'd love to read from you. Never forget to please like, share. And if you're yet to subscribe, please subscribe. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much. God bless you. Until we come your way again next time, see you in the next one. Bye.